We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Consequences from the Trump verdict. The Hunter Biden trial begins. Joe Manchin leaves the Democratic Party, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Former President Donald Trump was found guilty on 34 counts of falsifying business records last week, following a trial he slammed as a scam. While Democratic media pundits celebrated the verdict, high-ranking Democrats are questioning whether this is just given the White House to Trump. Trump nearly doubled his daily fundraising record after a jury found him guilty in his New York hush money case. Today, the Trump campaign announced a record-shattering small-dollar fundraising haul following the sham Biden trial verdict, totaling $34.8 million, nearly double the biggest day ever recorded for the Trump campaign, the campaign said Friday in a statement. Since the verdict, Trump has raised over $200 million. Several polls conducted after the verdict have painted contradicting pictures in the election landscape, with some finding voters uncomfortable with supporting a convicted felon, while others show Trump's support stronger because of the politically motivated verdict. Spontaneous shows of support for Trump have appeared across the U.S. and in other countries. House Speaker Mike Johnson stated there would be consequences for the politically motivated guilty verdict against former President Trump on Sunday, saying House Republicans would use everything in our arsenal. Johnson made the comments during an appearance on Fox News Sunday with host Shannon Bream. The Speaker emphasized the oversight powers that the House has and said they plan to leverage them against corrupt prosecutors. He clarified, however, that Republicans must remain within the rule of law. We are the rule of law party. Chaos is not a conservative value. We have to fight back, and we will with everything in our arsenal, but we will do that within the confines of the rule of law, Johnson said. The National Association of Broadcasters is pulling a philanthropy award it had planned to give to Robert De Niro after the actor bashed former President Trump on behalf of the Biden campaign last week. The group revoked its award and invitation to the Celebration of Service to America Awards event to De Niro because the group thought his recent work and comments on behalf of the president's re-election campaign would create a distraction. The Goodfellas actor said Trump could destroy the whole world during a press conference Tuesday outside the Manhattan courthouse, where Trump was being criminally tried. Judicial Watch reports that the White House admitted in a federal court that the transcript of President Joe Biden's testimony to special counsel Robert Hur is not accurate and is missing filler words such as or and words that may have been repeated when spoken, such as I, or and, which were sometimes only listed a single time in the transcripts. In its new filing, the Biden Justice Department makes the extraordinary assertion of executive privilege and privacy to hide the Biden audio. The agency makes the unprecedented assertion that because AI could be used to alter Biden's words, the material should be kept secret. The transcript makes it look as if Biden was more alert and coherent than the recordings reveal. Once again, the Biden administration is siding with Iran against America's allies. The White House is begging Britain and France not to formally rebuke Iran over the theocracy's growing nuclear program. Administration officials have been pressuring the U.S. allies and other European nations to vote against censuring Iran at a meeting of the International Atomic Energy Agency's Board of Governors next month. Diplomats close to the discussions told the Wall Street Journal. The U.S. is also preparing to abstain from the IAEA vote, the diplomats added, with some suggesting censure could further destabilize Iran following the death of its president, Ebrahim Raisi, in a May 19th helicopter crash. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office released a statement on Saturday that seemed to contradict President Biden's comments that would end the war in Gaza. Netanyahu's office said that Israel's conditions for ending the war, the destruction of Hamas's military and governing capabilities, the freeing of all hostages, and ensuring that Gaza no longer poses a threat to Israel had not changed. In the second part of the statement posted on X, his office continued, "The notion that Israel will agree to a permanent ceasefire before these conditions are fulfilled is a non-starter." In a speech from the White House on Friday, Biden presented what he called a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages, which he said came after intensive diplomacy carried out by a U.S. team with the leaders of Israel, Qatar, Egypt, and other Middle Eastern countries. OPEC Plus on Sunday agreed to extend their official crude output cuts into 2025. The coalition will produce a combined 39.725 million barrels per day next year, according to a table published by the OPEC Secretariat. The figure marks the production levels required of individual members before applying any additional production adjustments and factors in the group departure of long-standing OPEC member Angola earlier this January. The cuts are scheduled to remain in place throughout 2024, causing oil prices to rise. Hunter Biden's criminal trial will begin with jury selection Monday morning in Delaware. The trial stems from federal gun charges brought against him by special counsel David Weiss. Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty to federal gun charges in U.S. District Court for Delaware after Weiss charged him with making a false statement in the purchase of a firearm, making a false statement related to information required to be kept by a licensed firearm dealer, and one count of possession of a firearm by a person who is an unlawful user of an addicted to a controlled substance. With all counts combined, the total maximum prison time for the charges could be up to 25 years. Each count carries a maximum fine of $250,000 and 3 years of supervised release. Hunter Biden's trial on tax charges will begin in September. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, who has spent his entire decades-long political career as a Democrat, said Friday he is leaving the party and registered as an independent, raising speculation about whether he may run for another Senate term or for governor this fall. To stay true to myself and remain committed to put country before party, I have decided to register as an independent with no party affiliation and continue to fight for America's sensible majority, Manchin said in a statement. Despite his party change, Manchin will continue to caucus with Senate Democrats, his office said. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.